Peace and blessings, everyone. And a special peace and blessings to Lady Realism, who I'm making this video response to. Continuing dialogue on black unity and individualism. And specifically, there's unity within the black community. First off, thank you for your kind comments on the things you said about me. One thing I would say, you said I am intelligent, but I will counter that and say that I don't see that as being such. The only thing I believe I know is truth, and the only thing I know is nothing. I watched the video, enjoyed it, and so, just trying to respond to that and continue. Some things I came away with was really immediately within the title itself, black unity within the black community, and focusing on the within. Listening to your examples made me think that really what you discussed was a unity on a micro level. So that within is speaking to being pockets of unity. And so really I think the important issue and the real issue is unity on a macro level, so a world level, which is going to be most beneficial for the black race. You spoke, you gave examples of your family, and of the community. And once again, I think that's a micro level, because once you start moving in from the macro, from the world level, at each level it's more and more micro, gets smaller and smaller. From the world level, you go to nations, and these nations, you go to the United States. You go from the nation United States, the country, to the states. From the states to the cities. From the cities to the communities or neighborhoods. Neighborhoods to the families. From the family to the individual. And of course, when you get to the individual, you get to their thoughts and beliefs on black unity, whether there is, whether there isn't, whether there should be, the individualism, things of that nature. So, like I said, I believe that what you're saying is that you're showing the unity on that micro level. And then, it's always so the important thing is in defining what we're speaking of when we speak of unity. Like I said, I think we are speaking on a bigger level on the macro, because that's the only way that we're going. Well, it seems like that's the only way we're going to be able to achieve more as a race. But it brings into question, which way does it go? Does the macro affect the micro, or does the micro affect the macro? If it starts with one person, can one person cause change around the whole world? Or does it take the whole world to cause change in one person? And then, there's the issue of what we are coming together to be unified in. And I think that really might speak to more that there isn't really a unity on the macro, but just in itself there is a unity in macro, and that shows with the world condition, because when we go from nation to nation, we can see the conditions, whether it's here in the United States or over in Africa. And it's even worse over in Africa than it is here, is because it isn't that macro level. We aren't helping each other as a race around the world. But then again, I think we need to focus on what it is that we're being unified in. And for me, I always maintain that we must be unified in truth. And even within the race, that itself is a macro level, because I believe that we must come together, the whole world must come together in unity as one. And so that is the macro. So once we start going down from the human race into the specific races, once again we get smaller into the macro, and each level divides us, separates us from God and from truth, and we start once again, it changes our focus. So I believe in the macro, the world unity, but understanding that, you know, we do have the separations, and we get into the micro, and we have to address each one, and still we come back to which affects which. So dealing with us, you know, blacks, I think we should come together in truth, because then again, or there again, within the black community, of course, we had a division within religions, and we can't come together on religions on what is the truth. Then that causes separations. You know, so there's so many levels of separation, and I believe truth will cut through them all. Truth cuts through them all and brings us all together as one. And so if we look at the black condition here in the United States, to show that there's not an example of a unity, we will say that unity is defined as being able to raise our status here in the United States, status and stature. I looked online, you know, for different stats. I looked at the CDC website, which is the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and the Census Bureau. And of course, you just made a video about the Census Bureau, so we know we can take that sort of a grain of salt. But it is pretty much, you know, the accepted, accepted place of information and statistics for numbers, numbers and stats for people in the United States. So we'll use it. You know, there's always going to be some place of error. Any place you can go to get some numbers, there's always going to be a level of error, plus or minus. But in looking at the numbers there and looking at the condition as blacks, and this is something we know, the blacks are on the bottom when it comes to any category, whether it's income, disease, mortality rate, whatever it is, we're on the bottom. And even within that, within blacks, we have male and female, and within blacks, males are below the females. So once again, we're going from macro to micro. So individually, black males are at the very bottom. Then it goes to black females, and then together, within that unity, the family unity, if you will, black family, together, they are on the bottom, below whites and everybody else. So until we can come together to raise ourselves from the bottom up to the top or higher, or whatever it is, then I believe the truth is saying there is a unity. Once again, anything I ever say, I question everything. I even question what I say, because truth comes first. So understanding that I'm ignorant in many things, even when I speak with authority or something I may say might seem that I'm saying it as fact, it's not. It's just that something, we have to speak with some confidence things we say. But understand, I am open to anybody showing that what I'm saying is not the truth, not being right or wrong, because that's always subjective. And as much as someone can try to tell me that I'm wrong, I can tell them that they're wrong. So it's not about being right or wrong, it's about the truth. But if you can show me the truth of what I say is not the truth, then I open the door for you to do that. I'm open to that. I must do that because I love truth above all else. Truth is God to me. God is truth. There's nothing greater, nothing better than truth. So, yeah, I think, let me look on my notes. I wrote some things. And I believe that's it. So I hope I made sense of what I said. Another thing. I question if the definition of unity within, or not within a black community, or rather the unity of the black community would be us possibly creating our own nation, going back to Africa, building Africa back once again. And these are movements that are being attempted in the past. Once again, going Marcus Garvey, which have failed. People have failed. And I said before in previous videos, the ultimate goal of Martin Luther King was not accomplished. He wanted more than just the desegregation. He had a bigger vision than that. But once he died, we abandoned his ultimate vision, and that was Black unity coming together with financially, creating our own banks and whatnot. So I think maybe we need to define what unity is for blacks, and what the goal of that unity is. Come together, create our own nation, bring all our money together as one, taking over states, succeeding from the United States, moving en masse over to Africa or whatever it is. So definitions. And in the discussion, we got to define what a word is going to mean, and come together on that definition and speak those words, which we have a understanding what the definition is. God bless everyone. Peace and love.